Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to show you guys a flip through of this pink journal I made, and it got a bit chunky, so I actually used this ribbon to tie it up so that it kind of holds it together. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys some details on the journal. There's a lot of layers and a lot of lace, and I added book corners to the journal. And here I'm going to try to give you an up close look. And it has these little charms on it. There's a key, there's a heart, there's the little one that says love, and then there's a little one that says right here, I don't know if you can see that, it says made with love. Okay, so I covered the journal with this pink fabric, and I really wanted to add a little bit more, so I then grabbed some antique music sheet, and I covered it, and I actually covered a small piece of cardstock with it, and then I added this piece right here is some vintage wallpaper, and then I got some lace there and a little ruffle, and I don't know if you're gonna see this, there's a little bit of tulle underneath also. And then this is some silk ribbon. I actually tucked in this little feather, and I love how fluffy it is. And I wasn't sure if it was practical to add it, but I thought it was so pretty. I really liked the way the feather looked, and I figured if it breaks off or something, I included some feathers in the journal so you can just tuck another one in there, because it's not that practical. You know, if you pull it out and use it and you're not careful, it can maybe break or something. So here, let's see if you can see that. Sometimes when something is pretty, I feel like you just kind of go with it, even if it's not practical. And so, and if it's on, if you use it as a display and it just sits on your mantle or on a bookshelf, I think it'll be fine. So anyways, so there's the journal. You can see it's a little bit chunky. And let's open it. I use this vintage lace as a trim on the edge of the book where I did the binding. And so let's see. And so this first page right here, it has this little, it's actually a thicker cardstock. I don't know if you can see that. So it kind of lifts off the page a little bit, and I thought that's kind of nice. It just is more substantial. And then it says here, I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. So I like that little scroll with the writing. That's kind of like the title. So then I made this page for a photo, and I just I left a little bit of room here. I didn't glue it completely down, so you can tuck in the picture right there. And then I have this songbook page, and you can either clip something to it or add a little bit of paper and just do some more journaling. There's some more journaling space there. And I have this, it's stapled on there, and it says, I'm glad God gave you to me. I thought that was kind of a nice sentiment. And then more journaling space. Here I tucked in a feather, and this is a little coin envelope. And this is actually from my Etsy shop. And so you open it up and you can just write a little, either a poem or a little message. And you can actually give this to your husband or your loved one if you want, or you can just write a little love note and tuck it inside there. So here, there's another little charm. There's a little angel wing. And then I have this. And this actually is printed on some tracing paper, and it's very delicate. It looks like vellum. And then there's some silk, a piece of fabric, a snippet that I sewed on there. And I thought that was kind of pretty. And you can just write a little love note. You can write love on there, and it just tucks in this little pocket. And again, I left some space for you to personalize it. It's nice to just add photos or even like little journaling spots. Like this could be glued down there. And this opens up, and again, this is a great place for some hidden journaling. And this again, journaling or photo. Same with this opens up, and you can actually layer things underneath here. Also either photos or just more journaling. And this here is an envelope, and I included a tag in there. And then this little, it's like a little card printed on paper. This is coffee dyed paper. And again, I left it so you can kind of personalize it, and you can put it where you want it to go. Or you can even just tuck it with a little paper clip, tuck it on there. And so it's kind of nice to have a couple extra pieces. This is perfect for a quote, or you can put a date on there and just label one of the pages if you add pictures. So these are kind of cute. And if you had anything else, any of your own personal ephemera, you can always tuck them in this little envelope, so that you just kind of keep it together with the journal. So I left some space for journaling here. You can even add extra stickers if you want to personalize it more, or you can leave it like this. I think it's still pretty. I left some room here. What I like to do on smaller spots like this, I like to add smaller wallet size photos, or if you don't have a wallet, you can order a wallet size photos to just put in here. Or what I like to do is make my, I size my pictures in Photoshop, and I will put 2 photos in a 4x6 photo. I don't know if that makes sense. And then I'll order a 4x6 photo, and you actually get 2 photos that are like 2x4 or 3x4. Sorry, 3x4. Anyway, so basically, if you imagine this is your, like a 4x6 is this big, you basically put 2 sideways or two pictures this way, and you get a smaller size picture, and they actually work really, really well in junk journals, especially this size junk journals. If you watch my other videos, you'll kind of see what I mean, and that's a super cool tip to use. If you don't have Photoshop, you can actually download an app called Canva, and you can do it in Canva too. I've actually recommended that to some people. And so you just pull up a 4x6 size photo or a card, and you just pull in your pictures and size them so that they fit in that 4x6 photo. So anyways, that's kind of a cool tip. But you can also use 4x6 photos in these journals. Here's another layout. I use a paper doily here, and I used some vintage wallpaper right here, and I was kind of holding on to it for a while, and I really felt like it would go really well with this journal. So I used a little bit here, and I stitched it at the top, and I added some birds on there, and there's a little bit of room for some journaling. And then here I used some tracing paper, and this is actually a printable from my shop, and I just printed it and I stapled it on there. You can see the staple. And then here's a little bird, and if you notice, this bird is printed on shimmery, like metallic paper, and so it has like a really nice sheen to it. So I use that paper throughout the journal, so it's kind of a mix of like vintage antique paper, which this is like a book page, and also I have different textures like the vintage paper. I have the modern shiny one right here, the shiny metallic paper, and then I have some, I also use some of the tracing paper. And so it's kind of, it's nice to use different papers in the journal. It just makes it look so pretty. And so here is some lace. This is some vintage lace that I had that I sewed on there. Here I have some music sheets. I use music sheets, vintage music sheets. And I actually glue them down because they are so fragile. They just crumble when you use them. And so okay, so basically these are just some coffee dyed. This is a coffee dyed paper, and I just made it into a little note card. I sewed some lace on there, and I attached this little bird. It's like a fussy cut, and I thought that would be just a really pretty addition. And so then I have this little note card, and this is just vintage paper. And I just added some interest up here with this tracing paper and this little label. And so, okay, so then we have another envelope right here. And this is kind of a nice place to tuck things in, like your own ephemera or any memories you want to use for this journal. And I included these two little feathers here in case you wanted to use them anywhere in the journal, or if by any chance, I mean, hopefully that won't happen, but if this breaks off or something, you'll have these to just tuck them in, because that is pretty fragile piece. So I have these also that I included, and you could either staple them to a page and just jot down a little sentiment or a little bit of journaling or even a date. So I included these coffee dyed little note tags in there. And then here's another page, and it says, "Together is the nicest place to be." And I thought that was a nice sentiment. And then you can just journal on here. Usually I like to journal about maybe a time that I spent together with my family or with my husband. Just a nice special moment, and I'll also date it. So anyways, that's just one way you can use it. And there's some room here for journaling, and I added this label here either for actually it just looks really pretty, but if you want you can either use date what you write, or the moments, or maybe the event. You can date it right here. So there's another page, and again, you can journal on this paper. It's very light and pastel, so this would be a great place to journal on. And I also wanted to show you, you can also, I kind of left this as a tuck spot, so you can just kind of tuck something in there, like that. So, or you can just leave it like that. You can use it whatever way you want, but I kind of like that idea. I like to have options like that when I make my journals. And this is actually a vintage book page right there. It's just a beautiful garden, and basically it's the view from the backyard. And so, and then another page for journaling, and I again sewed this little silk ruffle on there, and I attached this little pin with a charm, the little heart charm. It's kind of like a heart key charm. Thought that was really cute. And here we have another pocket, and also keep in mind you can add your own ephemera to these pockets. Also, you can change things up and pin things with paper clips to your pages and just kind of make it your own. So this is that shiny metallic paper, and it's kind of a heavier weight, and you can see the stitches on the back. You can do journaling on here and even on the back. And then I have this, basically is coffee dyed paper, and it's like a little card that opens up, and you can just do some journaling or add some photos in there, and then they just kind of tuck in here unless you want to, set them somewhere else. Here's another layout where you can add some journaling. And I really like the way this looked. I like this quote: "If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk in my garden forever." I think that's so pretty. And so you have room right here for journaling. And then you can turn over this doily, and then you have this beautiful garden here. And I love this verse that says, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay," from Ruth. I thought that's so pretty, and it has the home, and I thought that was just a lovely little sentiment with the picture. Okay, so here we are. I just love this tag here. I glued it down. I have found the one my soul loves. I love that verse. I think it's so pretty. It's such a beautiful sentiment. And I left room here either for photos or again some journaling. And here's a little tag I made. And there's a little paper clip with some silk. So again, the tag comes off and you can journal on the back, and you can see some of the stitching. And so I just tuck it right there. I added that sticker right there. So yeah, you can do a date or a sentiment on there on that little label, or you can even do a title and maybe put a photo right here. And then here's my other page, and I have this little tag that I made. It has a vintage look to it, and I actually have a tutorial for this. So if you check my my YouTube account, I'll have a tutorial how to make this, how I made it, and this printable is actually in my Etsy shop. Here's a pocket, and here is a little, it's like a little booklet I made. I used some chalk and I chalked it up, and then I used some Mod Podge to seal it, and so I just used that as the cover of this little booklet that I made. And so it's basically just open it up, and you have room for a photograph, some journaling, and then this opens up too, and you have more room for photograph or journaling, and more journaling here. And so this kind of gets tucked in there. And here I added one of my favorite poems that I thought was so pretty, so I included it on here. And you will see I have some fabric on here that I attached. I did a little bit of collaging with different for different texture. I used a paper doily here. I used some antique music sheet, and then I used this fabric right here, and then some more lace on the back, and it kind of peeks through. And so here I have another pocket, and again I have these little tags, and they're just kind of nice sentiments. Again, you can write on the back, and you can also use the little paper clip and just tuck them in on a page. So I just left them there for your use. And so here's another page. It's more journaling space, and here I have this little rose that was also colored. I think this one was colored with actually watercolors. So that's just a nice little place to do some journaling. And here's another one for some more journaling. And then I added these photo corners here, so you could just tuck in a photo. Now you can also use any empty space for photos. You don't need the photo corners. You can actually use washi tape. You can even use a stapler to staple it in. It gives it kind of a nice casual look. You can glue it down. You can use washi tape. I think I already said washi tape. So, but I also gave you I set it up so it's easy to just tuck in a photo. And then here's the back page, and here's another page. And this is again coffee dyed. And basically it's just a place for some journaling. And I added that little feather. I thought that would be so pretty. And it says for always, because, you know, love is for always. It's forever. So anyways, and I tucked that in. And so again, these pockets, you can add your own ephemera, your own. I added pockets so you can just use it and add your own ephemera, any extra, you know, letters or cards you want to include in there. And then here it says loving you more than ever. And I thought that was a nice sentiment. And so this is the last page. So I wanted to show you guys those book corners. This is all handmade and it has a vintage look, as you can see. And some of the stitches might be uneven and some of the details aren't, you can tell it's not made obviously in a store. And so I just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that sometimes, you know, sometimes I tear my papers, sometimes like I'll ink the edges and I use stamps. Everything is just, I think it looks so lovely when you just add those details to a journal. So this is basically a pink romance or pink love journal. And I hope you guys like it and found inspiration from it. And there it is. If I make a journal that's a little bit chunkier, like this one is a little bit chunkier, I like to use it as a display. It kind of sits open like that, and it's kind of a nice, even like a conversation piece. You just put it either in a bookshelf, on a table, and I think it looks really pretty, and it's kind of there for people to just pick up and look through. And it's nice if you have, you know, photos, almost like a photo album. Um, Sometimes you can include quotes. And so, I don't know, I guess I kind of like that idea. I have this one here that I wanted to show you guys, and I actually have one of my journals. Actually, I have two that I display.